What's up? I'm Grizz. More Insomnia episode are we on? 4? 3? 3? Episode 3. I guess just more normal moments here. I really don't know what else is gonna happen. I guess we've just formed a new club, right? So the new astronomy club's formed. So I guess realistically somebody from the school could want, like, we could possibly force to in promotion of this, or the school might promote the club itself. So we might end up gaining a member or two, like people who actually want to come and join and do this. So I guess to see the dynamic of what would happen if somebody like that does come in and intrudes on R2 here, there's going to be an issue with that. Or maybe if we're just not going to, we have that, there's two people in the OP or ED, one of them. One of them has white hair, I think, and the other one I think is the teacher, the nurse or whatever that they keep contacting or being in communication with, who's now their advisor or whatever. So maybe that third character that we saw inside the observatory with them possibly joins now, or that might just be safe for another point. But that would make a lot of sense now that the club itself is joined. So there might be somebody interested in this stuff. And also to see the dynamic that we might get between them, because there's a possibility that we get somebody who's actually very interested in this stuff that has to go against people who are just trying to sleep and use for that. So like, what exactly are they going to try and do? I am interested to see if it's something like that, or if they just find somebody else who's maybe like them and then they just get a new one. I don't know. Excited to see. If you like it all, hit the like and subscribe. Do mean a lot to me. Feel free to stick around for the discussion and leave any comments about this episode or the series in general, as well as recommend anything else you may want to see me watch at some other point in the future. Let's get going though with episode 3. He did seem to start taking an interest a lot this episode, so that's cool. At least use his time wisely for it, right? That's the character from the thing that I was just talking about. Astronomy. Oh, okay. So it might be the exact setup I thought. That's pretty common though, so it would make sense. It's not even a school uniform. What are you wearing? With this signature, you are officially a member of the club. The cat is member number 2, I remember. Yes. Let's go. We have formed the club. Thank you. Oh my god. Brother.
3月に分配される部費の額が学校が納得する活動内容を示さないと天文台にいられないぞ。
Yeah, so you have to at least fake it to them enough that you're actually doing what you're doing. You're not gonna help us, you're just gonna advise us. I love the eyes like that, like they just did to her. They did it to the girl in the first episode too. They're so good. Just follow what it says they do. The issue is you probably have to tell them what you're using the money for. Yeah. We made it. We're in the fucking sticks out here, dude. What is going on? Nanan Biori, bro. Literally Nanan Biori. With less stunning backgrounds. Well, this one's good, though. Oh, oh shit. This place is so depressing. How can you like it here? Probably in just the wrong city entirely. Oh no, this is it. This is definitely it. Nice. So it's the place from the OP. So many children, so a lot. So what exactly is this person's... Yeah, I was just there. Follow me. Just follow me into this alley real quick. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Will not face them, yeah. What do you mean you don't know? We don't care about group activities, just club, what do they do? Aww. Damn. That's kind of peaceful though.
天文台は
Yeah.
学校に自分の個室があるみたいでね。
Which is why we were
ま
there,
あそこに
yes.
いたよ。イソ感度が低いのとか F 値。そもそもピント合わせないと。
それって覚えたら僕でも取れるってことですか？
覚えたらな。
イソ感度が低いとどうなるんですか？ F 値って何ですか？
I like how he's really taking the interest in taking these pictures though and getting better at this. Ooh.
Oh.
Oh.
うーん。
とにかくお願いします。あの場所に残れるかがかかってるんです。
We're gonna be here for longer than we need to be.
小丸さんってマイペースだ。
Yeah.
ただの自己中だろ。あの協調性のなさ。どうせ学校
No wonder they all left it to you.
休み時間はスマホいじるか机で居眠り。クラスでも浮いてたんだろうな。
わあ、ブーメラン刺さってる。
できた。
You didn't have to say it like that.
いただきます。
Made us food and everything. Tastes like shit. Oh, never mind.
漆器？
The what?
知らない？望遠鏡のピント合わせ練習って明るいうちは屋上から校庭の人間使ってやるから。
違う。そんな横島な目的は。
Side eye she's giving him. Yeah, we weren't intentionally doing it.
時間も迫ってますので。
Get the grippers off the screen.
そうだね。ちょうどいい頃だ。星が一番小さく
This just reminds me of my dress up darling when they were teaching you about taking certain photos and stuff like that.
もう少し。
It's cool and I'm happy they're going into it, but it's stuff I'll never ever use in my life. So it doesn't do anything for me. That's alright.
上げすぎるとこんな感じでノイズがザラザラするよ。最初だし構図はそんなに考えなくていい。撮りたい星を真ん中に置くくらい。
Well, I'm glad they're happy about it.
ちゃんと撮れてる。
It looked average to me, I'm just saying, but
シャッターをして20秒で。
she gets lots of joy out of teaching people and seeing them happy about that. Learning new school skills, but also taking up the things that she's interested in too.
問題ずっと物置にされてたんだってな。また物置に戻らないようにちょいちょい見に行くから。
Always welcome. Cool. So I like the way that was brought into and introduced. It's better in my opinion than having to put in a new like third person dynamic, I guess, but like actually join the club. I don't know, because then it could create some weird like things that we don't need. So that like this way was done really well, I'd say. The swimming practice. She's really got these long ass days. I gotta go up here, take a nap.
あくびしながら喋る。じゃあミーティングするぞ。
テント、私も
No, after the meeting.
では部長から9月の予算会議に向けてアピールになる。
8月にペルセウス座流星群が来ます。学校の屋上で観測会をやるのはどうかと。
観測会？
人を招待して流星群を一緒に見るんだよ。
へえ。
That could work. That's a good
やったこ
idea.
とはないけど。
And then you can use it to take advantage of taking pictures and stuff like that while you're at it too.
ありそうだな。
Yeah, and might be some actual interest in it.
8月某日、ペルセウス座流星群観測会。どなた様もふるってご参加ください。
友達いなそうだもん。
So
知っている。
大丈夫だって。
you're literally me. I understand.
手伝ってくれるよ。
真の全国大会だ。そこで入選でもすれば文句なしに予算が下りる。
There you go. And that's a goal to aspire towards too.
最近までカメラのこと何も知らなかったんですよ。
Might as well enter that one and see what you can do, right?
恥ってただじゃん。
Right. You lose, you lose. You win, you're guaranteed.
この先輩を当てにしなさい。
Yeah. She can always help.
ここは日本のウユニ塩湖とか言われてる。波のない時を狙えば夜空が反射した天地、星空が撮れる。
チリハマ、
Ah.
今度臨海学校で行くとこ。
そうだった。
The swimming club?
先生がホームルームで言ってたじゃん。
Oh, the whole.
ちょうどいい
Okay.
機会だし撮影してきなよ。
俺でも撮れるのかな。
That's alright.
撮れるよ。
Yeah. Not even you can do it, just do it. Like, You get too caught up in your own head, and then you start not doing things and start regretting it later on. But also, even if you are gonna regret it, at least you tried, right?
最近は寝れてるのか？
少しだけ
He's a bit more relaxed, probably.
天文台で。
そうか。中身が眠れないのにも何か意味があるのかもしれないな。
意味ですか？
It works really well too, because nighttime's the best time for him to see things and do this, so.
人がしくなるな。
とか言って嬉しそうじゃん。
だってさ、天文台見つけて、そこに曲がりがいて、天文部になって。
Look at all the great stuff that's happening in his life, yeah.
夜、眠れない俺たち2人が撮るんだぜ。
Mm-hmm.
なんかすごいよな。
Absolutely.
本当だね。
ノロはお留守番ね。
Hold it down, Rollo. No, okay. Then we got Rollo all leashed up and everything. This feels like it turned into laid back camp. Taking pictures of like the sky and their views, and then just sitting here grilling and stuff. Making food in the outdoors. It's literally all it feels like. Nice and peaceful. Nice. Now that looks great. Yeah, send the picture to them or contact some people and tell them to come out. You have 2 options. There you go.
何時だと思ってる。相手は高校生だぞ。
I've been here one too many times where you've had to send something and you just can't hit it. Rollo will do it himself. Yeah, there you go.
送っちゃった。自分の撮った写真。
And then just don't look at the phone for the rest of the night. That's what I would do. Oh, he's gonna look interested.
すごい綺麗。
本当にすごいです。夜空と地面が引き立て合ってる。どうやればこんな写真が。白丸先輩、今撮影してるんですか？
We're just walking around town anyways, so we'll be there in 10.
奴らだな。まったく。
Yeah, I didn't even pick up on the fact she was worried about it being so late, but it's like, dude, they're always awake. This was very laid back and very stripped of everything, it kind of feels like. It's very interesting, the direction choices of making this as straightforward as possible in a way. Lack of drama elements needed, lack of really anything, and just keeping to who the characters are and just kind of what their internal thoughts are, the way that they want to approach things, but having people kind of not dramatize things, as I was saying, and kind of just straight shoot with everything in regards to the idea of, oh, you want to do this thing to kind of get your club over because you're going to have to show up to this meeting and present some stuff and, you know, show off what you've actually been doing so that they, you know, actually realize that you're using the space appropriately. Maybe you should enter this contest and take some photos or something. Oh, I'm not nearly good enough. And then just have people around you. It can't hurt to try. Just give it a shot. Just be supportive of that person and kind of not just be like, oh shit, well, I guess that's out of the option. Now we have to pull off some elaborate heist in some way to kind of trick other people into thinking it. We don't need to go that route. Let's just put our heads down, get to work, just try it and see what we can do. And we can find enjoyment in it. We're up at night anyways, and we're doing all this other stuff. If you have some sort of fascination and enjoyment with the camera, might as well make it work. It's interesting just how, I guess, straightforward it is in a way, which is really nice to see. I feel like I haven't actually watched a lot where things are as straightforward as this kind of feels. Well, I have watched some things. They're also disguised in a way by having things drama related or kind of other elements to it, where this just feels very, that's it, like it does its thing, it does what it sets out to do, a certain thing, and it does it, and it's very simple. It doesn't try and make anything too elaborate happen, and actually enjoy that and appreciate that a lot. Now with that, you have to recognize the idea that certain people will not enjoy things like this series, this type of stuff, because of the slice of life elements to it, because of how great shooting it is. You know, a lot of times you find slice of life shows and they're similarly done in a way kind of like this, but then they do add those elements of things such as drama, or do add the elements such as comedy, or just going over the top with stuff within the art and like everything else that they do. This doesn't do that, which is interesting because it does kind of narrow in on a certain amount of people that are probably going to find this as enjoyable, but it does expand it a bit by having things such as romance and stuff involved with it, and taking, I guess, a bit more of a serious tone in specific situations, as opposed to the way that some others would kind of do. So yeah, there's that, I guess. The episode itself boils down to two main events, really. One, we have to show up to this presentation meeting with all the other, the student council, I guess, and all the other club members or club managers. What word am I looking for? Presidents, and present kind of the things that we've been doing and explain, what our future holds and what exactly we want to do and get through with that. So in order to do that, we have to figure out exactly what's going to happen in this situation. As a result of not knowing anything, especially about astronomy or what the club possibly can do, our advisor sends us over to somebody that she knows and is like, this person could probably help you. We find Yui. Yui is the former member of the astronomy club, or I guess at least just of using the observatory in some sort of way. And she kind of was all alone when she was doing it years ago. And is kind of just there now to look after these people or just expand their knowledge and openly kind of express outwards to them of what she really loves about it and try and show that off and maybe let that rub off on them in some sort of way and get them to really like the things that she also likes, which is a great thing to be able to see. You also love to always find something that you're really passionate about in a way where others might not be, and be able to see them slowly get into it or take an interest in it is one of the greatest things. Or even if they aren't interested in it, just the fact that they're willing to ask you about it to let you kind of go off and talk about it because they know it means a lot to you and they're just willing to be there to listen to it is such a wonderful thing to have people around that can do that. So it's really nice that you find people like this who do share similar interests, despite the age gap that may be between all of them. They seem to take an interest and actually take this serious and aren't just dismissing everything that she's telling them, which is really nice. Yui seems to run a arcade or whatever it was in the middle of nowhere, which is the interesting choice, but cool, I guess. And also, I guess being out there kind of allows for more photography aspects of things and being able to take pictures and get more open views of the sky and stuff without having to have all these other things like involved in the scenery and stuff. So that's cool. We basically have Marguerite come back from her swim practice. She meets up with everybody. We find the advisor and Yui showing up in the observatory, and then we kind of lay out a plan and discuss exactly what the plan is going to be going forward for this club. We find out that before the meeting in September, there is a comet or something that's going to come by in August, and we're going to hold kind of a observing thing. We're going to have like a party in some sort of way. We're going to open up the school roof and get some people interested and involved, and we're going to kind of hold like a little event for it. And we're going to be able to use this opportunity to take pictures of the sky and just kind of expand the things that we express our interest in, as well as, with other people, and just kind of have a good time. And these are the things that the club kind of needs to do. And this is what we set out to do. Once in a lifetime opportunity type of things like this. So really nice to see just something very nice and straightforward for us to do. There's also the aspect that there is a photo contest of some sorts, where they're having people kind of just, I think they're strictly from astronomy clubs, but they also could just be generalized photo contest. But the idea is to take a picture that's good enough, or make your submission good enough to the point that you win some sort of prize. And that's not saying you have to win, but just kind of get recognition some sort of way. Because if you can present that to the student council and all the others, it's very easy for that to kind of go through and be like, look at the progress we made, look at what we're doing, we're doing what we're supposed to, and we're being recognized for it in some sort of way, which will allow them to kind of recognize you as well. It's almost undeniable at that point. You have proof to back up the stuff that you've kind of done and accomplishments that kind of go towards it, which is nice as well. So despite Nakami not really wanting to do this because he's nervous that he's not going to win or he's not going to be able to be capable of this, it's nice to see him kind of have encouragement from these others, or at least people being like, just take the shot. There's literally nothing wrong that can come with it, which is something I think that can apply to every aspect of life. There's literally nothing bad with just giving things a shot. Sometimes there is, especially if there's financial things involved and you have to spend money on it or something. I can understand why you would opt not to. But in this situation, it seems to be free to submit. Like, why not just literally take the shot? You're going to go around taking all these pictures that you've taken so much of an interest in already. Might as well give this a shot. It can't hurt. I liked us learning about the cameras and exactly how they work and exactly like what we're looking for when we're trying to take these pictures and everything. It's useful, I'd assume, for people who are interested in the hobby or trying to learn that stuff. Me personally, I am not. so I don't take as much interest in something like that because I'm never going to apply that knowledge, I'll be honest. So it doesn't do too much for me, but I do like that they are trying to add more of an educational aspect to it. Also, so our characters can learn, and it's not something that we just kind of have to breeze and skip over, and we can incorporate it into the story some sort of way. Makes sense, and it works really well. Also, it lets us see that connection of them growing and learning and taking an interest in this stuff, and it allows us to see Yui kind of teaching and letting all that stuff out while being able to showcase her knowledge herself and express that all to other people and kind of get them interested in the same sort of thing. We have the good moment at the end where Yui goes out and sets out just to do something at night, take some pictures. That's literally what she wanted to do, and being able to see that whole experience. It was very laid back camp like, with cooking of food and kind of just setting up the camera and then also sending it to people at the end of the view that you have and stuff like that. Very, very similar to how that's done, which is a nice, relaxed, peaceful way to kind of go about this, and just very enjoyable overall. The moment of Yui trying to be like, oh, I should send this, but oh, they might not be awake, or oh, it's just really late. What am I doing sending it to these people? And you know, what their relationship actually is like, that it would be acceptable for it in that sort of way. It's very, very interesting because it's very real. I can almost guarantee anybody still listening at this point has been in a situation before where they've tried to send a message to somebody, whether it's somebody else for the first time, usually it's for the first time, or it's just something that's like a very risky message in some sort of way, or something that you're a little nervous to kind of send out because you don't know the reaction or response that you're going to get back. So you struggle very much, and you just go back and forth for like minutes or hours even, and struggle to send that message. And ultimately you can either work up the courage, or something happens and you do it. In my situation where I've had stuff like that happen before, I usually just kind of turn over the phone and don't look at it for the entire day, or I will, but then the moment I see I received like a response back, I just won't look at it for a while. Gotta mentally prepare myself when that used to happen, I guess, whenever that hasn't had something like that occur in a while, but when I used to be more like that. So I can relate in some sort of way like that. But I do like that, just sharing the experiences that you always end up having now with these new people that she's met, who is taking interest in the same exact thing that she is. And it's really nice, especially the dynamic, because she didn't seem to have any friends or anybody around her that was taking those interests within school. So very similar to Nakami in a way, where he doesn't have any friends, or he has one, it seems like, but doesn't really get along too much with a lot of other people. So being able to now kind of be somebody who's in a similar spot and then grow more friends through common interests, stuff like that. Really, really cute to see, and just overall good for moving us along and progressing the club the way that it should actually go. I feel like a lot of times in shows like this, they push the club dynamic as much as they do character interactions between each other, and then we get like one episode that's strictly focused on like club stuff, where I feel like every episode here is kind of directed us towards what we're doing and what the purpose of the stuff within this episode or the series is kind of being. And while it does develop the dynamics between the characters, who are more so focused on the stuff that's actually occurring and not just between the two, especially because we can have episodes like this where almost the relationship between the main two is kind of the side story in a way of this, where this episode is mainly focused on progression of the club and them and finding new people to bring along. So that's cool. I also really like that Yui's not a member of the school, and that she is kind of, or she was at one point, but somewhere else now, right? And we don't have to bring in this third party person from the school to possibly put us in like a triangle situation, where it might be another girl that becomes interested in Nakami, or it might be another guy that becomes interested in Maguri or something like that, right? Like just make it weird, or make them just like this weird third wheel that, you know, just something like that, or just ruins the dynamic or something that's going on between them, dramatizes things to a point that it doesn't need to be. So I do like that we kind of avoided that by bringing in this outside person who was involved at one other point. And also just having like a teacher who isn't very up to date with what's going on the like astronomy side of things. So she doesn't care too much. She just wants to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to, but then they can use the observatory for however else they need to. So I do like the way that they're kind of presenting things here. Excited for more though. It's really just straightforward, enjoyable, cute. That's all it really seems to need right now. So I like that. I mean, but that'll be all from me. If you like it all, hit the like and subscribe. Do mean a lot to me. Feel free to follow me on Twitter and my anime list. Both links are in the description. Leave any comments about this episode or this series in general, as well as recommend anything else they might want to see me watch at some other point in the future. I'll be back for episode 4 next week. You have a good one. See ya.